Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I was looking forward to the launch in country, but it was not to be due to the COVID-19 situation across the world and our region in ASEAN. But thankfully, we are still able to do this virtually. As many of you know, on 5th November, AMD has launched the AMD Ryzen 5000 series desktop processor powered by the AMD Zen 3 architecture. This processor, led by AMD Ryzen 9 5950X, dominates heavily in the multi-core threaded performance environment as well as power efficiency. There are three other SKUs as well: the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, Ryzen 7 5800X, and Ryzen 5 5600X. All these processors are available in the market in your country right now. The 5000 series processor continues with AMD commitment to deliver the best-in-class PC processor from our first gen back in 2017, which delivers a disruptive level performance in the processor market. The 5000 series processors continue to extend our leadership in IPC, power efficiency, multi-core performance for the content creation workload, as well as single-core performance and gaming. And talking about gaming, what a year this will be for gaming. As many of you know, gaming is at the heart of everything that we do in AMD, be it with our Ryzen processors, Radeon graphics card, our partnership with the cloud gaming partners, and the engagement with the gaming publishers. Recently, with the launch of the Sony PlayStation 5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X and S powered by AMD Ryzen and Radeon technology, this further consolidates AMD as the #1 choice for gamers. And I also like to take the opportunity today to announce the launch date of AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics card. This RX 6000 series graphics card harnesses the groundbreaking technology of our AMD RDNA 2 architecture, which provides a 54% performance per watt uplift over the previous generation of RDNA architecture. More details of this product will be made available on the launch date on 18 November. Finally, I'd like to thank you for your time again here today and for your continuous support for AMD product, be it in the commercial server space, notebook, desktop, Radeon graphics card, as well as the console segment. We are extremely proud to be able to continue to deliver to the community and to you what is expected of AMD for its product and its innovation. With the 5000 series processors today, we hope you have lots of fun and your customers have lots of success with the products. Okay, I will now leave you in the good hands of my local country team, which will provide greater insights of our Ryzen 5000 series processors and the exciting features behind the product. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to catch all of you real soon. Thank you.
I'm Alvin Pacheco. I'm a content creator, I'm a YouTuber, I'm also a gamer.
Hi, I'm In Mercado. I'm a game streamer, events host, and I do cosplay sometimes.
My name is Jesse Tan and I'm the Vice President for Sales and Marketing of PC Express, one of the leading IT retailers here in the Philippines.
Hi, my name is Io James and I represent MSI Gaming.
My name is Brainard C. and I am a software developer and at the same time the owner of Junkyard Summit at YouTube.
I'm Martin Joseph M. Lopez, Gigabyte Sales and Marketing Representative.
My name is Lian. I'm a college student. I'm also a host for AMD's live streams on their Facebook page.
Yeah, I'm Marvin Uy. I'm the country manager for ASRAP in the Philippines.
Well, I'm Satan. I'm a tech entrepreneur and sole proprietor of Satan Tech, and I'm also an occasional content creator.
I'm Kevin Cedro, Vice President for Operations for Alpha Gaming Esports Hub.
I am a technician. I put up computer store, internet cafe. We managed to organize events for the IT community with the local government unit and of course with the participation of AMD.
My name is John Robert Osorio. I'm the marketing manager of ASUS Philippines.
So, my name is Isa Bacon, and I'm a content creator, brand ambassadress, and an entrepreneur.
I'm Jasper Oregas. I'm the Chief Editor of UrbanTechNews.com.
I'm Mark Olmedo. I'm a tech specialist and I also run some businesses in the South.
Hey, I'm Sonny C. I'm the National Sales Manager for the component business of AMD here in the Philippines.
1998, 1999 was the time where the PC industry was just climbing up. PCs were expensive, nobody knew how to assemble a PC and what's the use. 1999, back then, probably AMD was still at the stage, the X486, X586 era. This was the time bago lumabas yung Athlon Enduron brand ni AMD.
So I joined AMD way back August 8, 2005, and it's been quite a ride.
In a nutshell, AMD with Athlon Enduron back then paved the way for customers to actually seek out alternatives from what is originally available.
Gamers now know how to choose their parts compared to like the 15 years before, everybody's just looking for what's the cheapest one. Yung shift ngayon is they invest on the gaming PC rather than they go for the cheaper ones.
Since 2005, we have been through high and lows. It has been a humbling experience for me and a continued learning experience as well.
It is all about building great products for us. It's what drives every single AMD employee. It's what we wake up and go home at night thinking about. And it's about putting really, really ambitious goals out there, giving our engineers the freedom to innovate, and never giving up.
It would have to do with our investment in technology. It's all about research and development, and currently we employ multiple teams that develops new products, new processors, and new graphics in order for us to be able to be very competitive year after year since we first launched Ryzen way back in 2017.
But with the APU, naging Ryzen sila. Ito, full retail box, the right CPU cooling fan. Dati kasi maghahanap ka eh. At pag mali yung napili mo, overheat ka na, sira ka na. So ito, guaranteed gonna work until 3 to 5 years or even more using the stock fan by itself. So it made life easier for the system builders. Not just us retailers, but also for the enthusiasts or yung mga nagdi-DIY, do-it-yourself PC building.
When we talk about AMD Ryzen, we always talk about performance per peso. That kind of achievement, we reach new potentials even with our combined technologies.
Since its introduction, the first Ryzen family processors have impressed PC enthusiasts and system builders alike, me included. With their high core counts and fine-tuned clock speeds, the first Ryzen processors were able to compete with the leading processor at the time. And with 3 generations of Ryzen processors now, AMD has proven that they can offer processors that can go head-to-head with the competition and even outmatch them at certain points.
AMD actually helped me with my multitasking, with gaming and editing at the same time. Sometimes I do play some PC games while I'm rendering on the back. So it's very useful and powerful.
The reason why I agreed to live streaming for AMD is because I suddenly switched over to a laptop powered by AMD Ryzen 7. And it was the first time I didn't have any problems doing anything. So yeah, it was only until recently na I realized I could do things in my life without having to worry about it crashing or failing on me.
What really impressed me with Ryzen kasi I build PCs on my previous job. Na-surprise din kasi ako, even with multiple monitor setups, high-load gaming, it didn't falter. There wasn't any problem with Ryzen processors talaga.
So I was editing videos doing motion graphics on a laptop, which isn't too powerful. And then when I switched to doing my content on the PC, the time was shaved from an hour of render to 10 minutes. So it was that fast. And I was really happy with it. So I had our clients get Ryzen builds as well. I told everyone to switch to Ryzen.
Well, AMD Ryzen doesn't just deliver quality and performance, it delivers peak price to performance ratio. And if you're going to talk about dropping an investment on hardware, I think Ryzen will give you not just an expectation, but it will surpass that. I was on the release of the 3000 series back in Taiwan, and I was surprised to my mind on what I was seeing, the price, the benchmarks, and also the promises of their support in the future. And when I saw that, I was gonna say, I'm gonna buy that. And sure enough, not just my expectation that I'm gonna buy it, I bought it twice. I bought the 3600 and I also bought the 3950X, which is like flagship processor. Because 16 cores and 32 threads, and they're gonna repeat that again, but with the same TDP and the higher clock speed.
On paper, it's already a good performing CPU, but owning one, it's like night and day as compared to my previous CPU. It was smooth and it is efficient in terms of power-wise, and the performance is really good. That could accommodate most of my tasks during that time.
In my experience, these processors deliver not only the best productivity application performance, but they also offer improved gaming performance.
I've tried every generation of Ryzen processors and it never failed to impress me. Every generation, there's a significant leap in performance.
Explaining AMD processors not only for gamers but also for content creators is already on books since the release of Ryzen series, because they are one step ahead in terms of architecture. They have this better IPC, computing power, better multi-core performance pagdating sa mga production, 3D designers, architects, engineers. Rendering numbers is stating that AMD is way ahead. That is why benchmark won't lie. It is really not only for gamers, but also for content creators.
In most part of the world, we outsold our competitor. And Ryzen right now is the leading processor brand in the market.
5 to 6 years ago, nauso yung tinatawag nating marketing strategy that you have to go omni-channel. This is actually how you reach out to your customers, yung touch points mo. Ang Filipinos ngayon, ano lagi ang hawak? Telepono. As a business owner, you should be able to reach out and talk to the customers kung saan sila mas comfortable. But ano ang difference ng online selling? Marami sa ating mga Pinoy, ang gusto natin, meron tayong nakakausap. Ayaw natin yung click, 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 bili, bili, bili. Hindi. Gusto natin, nagtatanong tayo, natututo tayo, at syempre, magaling tayong makipagtawaran. Nothing would beat a face-to-face customer experience.
Most of the inquiries we did, especially in Orus, yung mga fan page inquiry, more on parang social media sila eh. Sabi nila, magpo-post sila, may ganito akong budget, what PC would be the best. Yun. Then also, ang advantage doing that, the other end users also will, makikita nila, oy, ganito pala yung magandang build.
And this thing about globalization is something na what we're looking at is hindi mo na pwedeng lokohin ang isang customer. They have all the resources to choose to get the right messaging kung ano yung pinakamaganda para sa kanila. So you have to be true. You have to tell them what's good, what's not. At mas matimbang na yung sinasabi ng katabi niya kaysa sa sinasabi ng isang salesman.
People kasi, I always tell them na, Brad, ito yung i-recommend ko sa'yo. Ito, Ryzen 3700X, 3800X. Pero if you want, you can also try checking them online and compare for yourself. I always tell them na, it's up to you. If you want to research more, go ahead. Pero I would definitely recommend this processor, the AMD Ryzen processor, for whatever need that you're gonna do.
Sa business kasi, bigger and better yung magiging labas niya eh. Cost efficient, performance-wise, okay siya. Budget-friendly. We can think of ways kung paano siya mas maibebenta sa mga franchises namin. Meron na kaming help with AMD to push us na, sige, pasukin natin yung esports. Malaki yung hatak niya pagdating sa business kasi ang panahon ngayon, ina-idolize nila yung mga players. Pag sinabing esports pro player siya, saan siya naglalaro, sino yung nagpupush sa kanya. Pag sinabing alpha gaming, doon din sila pupunta.
With the higher core count, there's also a trend for content creators, like YouTubers, streamer. Naturally, you need a powerful PC for that one. We want to recommend a certain spec, like gaming plus productivity. Our recommendation would be AMD. And then those gaming contents, if you're really good, people will watch you, right? When you do contents online, like YouTube, you can actually monetize your videos. You can actually earn some money out of it. Naturally, you want to upload it fast. Even a 1 minute advantage over the competitor is big enough, because if you scale it up to a bigger file, that 1 minute will translate to time save for you. The more you save on time, the more you can do.
I can see Ryzen not just 100% with my future career, but 140%. I'm a firm believer of learning, growing, and AMD Ryzen has been doing that consistently throughout the years. And I would like to associate myself with a brand that also does the same, growing, learning, and adapting to the market.
Everything is now digital. And when you're talking about Ryzen, it talks about the PC that you actually use, whether it's a server, the PC that the clients will be using. Ang habol mo dito, you need something na it won't cough out on you. You don't want something that's gonna break down. You want something na walang delay. And you need good devices. But it all starts, of course, with the processor. And I think that's how Ryzen's gonna help us. With all the new technology that's gonna come out, solutions, softwares, applications will be built around that.
I've always planned on becoming an actual streamer, having my own channel, setting up my own stuff by myself. So with AMD, kasi it was only recently that I realized, oh, I could actually do this. Moving forward with AMD, I really believe that they can help me achieve my streaming dreams.
In everything that I do for a living, I'm using an AMD-powered PC. So it means that when I wake up in the morning, I check my business emails, business orders, and at nighttime, I do my online streaming. So basically, my life revolves around AMD, and I don't want that to change.
By owning a Ryzen processor, I think it will help me in the future to expand my work and my career as a content creator by providing quality content for my subscribers.
We have the availability of 6-core, 8-cores, 12-core, 16-core processors. So that's really, really amazing. Consumer level product pero enthusiast grade specifications, diba? I believe that they have set the new standard for consumer computing.
Before, I just wanted the PC built with AMD Ryzen, and now I can't believe that I'm already helping out others and building PCs powered by AMD Ryzen.
With people right now spending more time in front of a PC, so definitely we expect growth in the gaming sector, pati na rin sa mga home office user and content creation market. We hope to sustain our momentum in high-performance computing by offering new generation of processors and graphics product every year. And as I mentioned earlier, we have multiple development teams that continually work on developing new products for AMD and for the market.
So today, we're going to talk specifically about our next-gen PC gaming platform. So let's talk a little bit about Ryzen. Now, you guys know we brought the first generation of Ryzen to market in 2017. And we actually had one goal. It was to build the best PC desktop processor possible. Now, we knew we wouldn't get there in one step, but with each generation of Ryzen, it's gotten better. And we focused on how do we deliver more performance? How do we deliver the best features? And how do we give more capabilities to all of you PC enthusiasts so that you can do more than you ever thought with your desktop or in your notebook? And we've made great, great progress. We started with Ryzen in desktops, and then we introduced Ryzen Threadripper in high-end desktops. And now, actually, Ryzen is in many amazing notebook systems with our Ryzen 4000 series. I think it's safe to say that AMD loves the PC, and I think also it's safe to say that PC users love Ryzen. So we really appreciate that. Now look, let's just focus on the desktop for a few minutes. The progress we have made over the last few years has been really amazing. If you look at the market before Ryzen, the desktop PC was on sort of an incremental performance slope for the last many years. Now, over the past 3 years, we've significantly changed that trajectory and really completely reset expectations as we've gone from 1st gen Ryzen to 2nd gen, now to 3rd gen Ryzen. We were the first to launch a 7nm desktop processor, and today, 3rd gen Ryzen leads in so many areas. We're the highest in multi-threaded performance. We are the best in terms of power efficiency, and 3rd gen Ryzen is an absolutely great gaming processor. But as you know, we're really ambitious. So our work with Ryzen is never done. Our engineers have been on this maniacal focus of what can we do more? What can we do better? So today, we're here to talk about our brand new CPU core. You've all been waiting for it. It's all about Zen 3. And with Zen 3, we focused again on bringing the best to the PC market. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished. Zen 3 increases our lead in overall performance. It increases our lead in power efficiency. And also now, it delivers the best single-threaded performance and gaming performance as well. We've made massive changes in the core architecture, and I'm sure all of you want to know what's inside Zen 3. I'm so proud of what the team has accomplished with Zen 3. We really focused on what is most important for gamers and enthusiasts. And at 19% IPC increase, it's our largest increase generation over generation since we launched the Zen family. So now let's see Zen 3 in action. I'm so proud to show you for the very first time the AMD Ryzen 5000 series for high-performance PCs, the world's first Zen 3 powered CPU. This is the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X. 12 cores, 24 threads, and a boost up to 4.8 gigahertz. It's a very special product, the ultimate enthusiast processor. Compared to the 3900 XT, the 5900X has 19% higher IPC, higher clock speeds, and all of the Zen 3 core improvements that Mark talked about, all while remaining at 105 watts. This makes Ryzen 5900X a big upgrade from 3rd gen Ryzen all around, but especially in gaming. In addition to the 5900X, we have the 5800X, an 8-core, 16-thread processor with boost frequencies up to 4.7 gigahertz at 105 watts. And we also have the 5600X, a 6-core, 12-thread CPU with boost frequencies up to 4.6 gigahertz at 65 watts. We love our enthusiasts, and there's one more processor in our stack, which is the ultimate processor for gaming and content creation. For those of you who want the very best processor in a desktop PC, we have the 16-core Ryzen 9 5950X. The 5950X is simply an amazing CPU. 16 cores, 32 threads, and our fastest processor with boost frequencies up to 4.9 gigahertz. The 5950X breaks the Cinebench R20 single-threaded record that Robert set just a few minutes ago with a score of 640. It is truly the best in class in every dimension. Best gaming performance meets best processor for content creation, and all of this still at 105 watts. Now let's take a look at some of the performance. If we look at the generational uplift from the 3950X to the 5950X, we see up to 27% more performance in CAD workloads and 12% more performance in rendering workloads. More impressively, we see up to 29% more gaming performance. And this is really how we bring the best of both worlds together. The best for gamers and the best for creators. And now, if you put 5950X against the top of the stack from the competition, we see that the 5950X provides up to 59% more creative performance in rendering workloads, double-digit wins in video editing and software compiling, and we also win in lightly threaded CAD workloads as well. But you guys send me a lot of notes and a lot of tweets, and I know that you're not just excited about Ryzen 5000 series, But there's a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and curiosity about our Radeon lineup as well. In addition to introducing our Ryzen 5000 series, we're also going to introduce our next-gen Radeon GPU, and I want to give you a preview of that today.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here with you today to share the incredible work we're doing at AMD for gamers. By now you've all heard about our upcoming Ryzen 5000 series processors, the world's best gaming processors featuring our brand new Zen 3 architecture. And you've heard about our new Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards designed for exceptional gaming performance by harnessing our next generation RDNA 2 architecture. When we designed our Ryzen 5000 series and our Radeon RX 6000 series products, we did so with the vision of not just how each of these components could excel individually, but also how these technologies could work together to define the ideal gaming platform for DIYers and system builders alike. Being the only company in the world that designs and develops both high-performance CPUs and GPUs, we challenged ourselves to deliver something exceptional when these technologies would be combined. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, how AMD set out and accomplished in developing the ultimate gaming platform. We set out on a mission to design such a platform in ways that only AMD can. First, I'm going to share with you how we've unlocked even greater performance when you combine a Ryzen 5000 series processor with the Radeon RX 6000 series graphics card. Next, I'm going to show you how we're continuing to improve your gameplay experience beyond just increasing frames per second. Finally, I'll show you how we optimize the design of this platform for everyone, whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a system builder. Let me start by talking to you about how we're maximizing performance on our platform with the combination of these products. Or in other words, how the platform's performance adds up to a whole that is greater than the sum of the parts themselves. We approach this mission by capitalizing on the fact that only AMD has all of the core components that gamers rely on every day. Specifically, high-performance CPUs and chipsets, incredible graphics, and the technology and software to drive and connect all of these to operate best together. At the Consumer Electronics Show earlier this year, I shared with you how we refer to this as the AMD Advantage. And if you saw our announcements at the show, you may recall that we introduced a new feature for laptops called AMD Smart Shift. Smart Shift allows AMD mobile CPUs and GPUs to seamlessly shift power between them to boost performance as your games and applications demand. Smart Shift is a transformative technology for laptops, and today I'm excited to be able to take the covers off of another AMD Advantage technology that we've been working on, but this time it's for the PC platform where it all began for me, desktops. We call it AMD Smart Access Memory. This performance optimization technology gives a combination of AMD Ryzen 5000 series processors and AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards additional levels of performance in games. We achieve this by letting the Ryzen CPU have full access to the high-speed GDDR6 memory of the Radeon RX 6000 series graphics card, and in exchange, accelerating performance of some of your favorite games and resulting in higher frame rates. So let's talk briefly about how it works. This isn't entirely a new technology. In fact, for years, the CPU has been able to leverage a small allocation of 256 megabytes of memory access from the GPU. Game developers use that for all sorts of data, including vertex buffers, polygon meshes, texture data, stencil buffer data, and geometry data. But up to now, PC game developers have been constrained to accessing only 256 megabytes of that graphics memory. Now, 17 years or so ago, this 256 megabyte configuration was fine, as the graphics memory available in cards back then was similar in size. But of course, technology has dramatically changed over time. Not only has the size of graphics memory increased significantly over the years, but gaming demands on the CPU have increased as well. For those tasks where the CPU accesses the data in GPU memory, a fixed memory aperture size of 256 megabyte can limit performance. AMD Smart Access Memory gets rid of that 256 megabyte limitation, widening the memory access aperture so that the CPU has access to the full capacity of the graphics memory. In the case of the Radeon RX 6800 series and the 6900 XT cards that we recently announced, we can now access up to their entire 16 gigabytes of high-speed GDDR6 memory. The larger memory aperture means the CPU makes less calls to memory, resulting in less overhead and providing for a nice performance boost in many games. But the best part is that AMD Smart Access Memory works with all Ryzen 5000 series processors and Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards. So let's take a look at the performance that you can expect when you have Smart Access Memory enabled platforms. First, we'll start by showing how the Ryzen 5900X and the Radeon RX 6800 XT perform together before we turn AMD Smart Access Memory on. Now let's look at the uplift that Smart Access Memory contributes to frame rate. And we're just getting started. Now that this is possible, more game developers will take advantage of it, and we'll see increasing benefits over time. AMD Smart Access Memory will be available at launch, and it'll run automatically in the background with compatible hardware. All you need is a Ryzen 5000 series CPU, a Radeon RX 6000 series graphics card, and the latest 500 series AMD chipset motherboards. Now, let's talk about how we're improving the gaming experience on our platform, making your games feel smoother and more responsive. One of the key defining elements that makes a game feel slow or sluggish is input lag. Input lag is the time between when you perform an action, such as pressing a key on your keyboard, hitting a button on your controller or your mouse, or even just moving your mouse when you're playing a game, and when you see that response or action show up on the screen. As any gamer knows, increased lag makes you feel disconnected from the game, as it makes it harder for you to control your movements precisely. This especially makes a huge difference in highly competitive games. While the traditional way to reduce lag is to pursue higher frame rates, since higher FPS typically translates into reduced lag. That's been the traditional way to optimize, but it's not the only option. AMD actually has a history of introducing lag reduction technologies in hardware and software with Radeon. Several years ago, we introduced FreeSync, a variable refresh rate technology for quicker responses to the screen and smoother animation. FreeSync can now be found in over 1,200 different displays in the market. We also introduced reduced buffering in Radeon software, moving from triple buffering to double buffering for most games, and in exchange, removing another frame of latency. We also introduced Enhanced Sync, an alternative low-latency VSync mode offered in our Radeon software that combines reduced lag with minimal visual tearing. And last year, we introduced Radeon Anti-Lag with the Radeon RX 5000 series of graphics cards, a first-of-its-kind software feature that reduces lag by 85% of a single frame time by intelligently controlling the queuing of CPU work ahead of GPU work in DirectX 9 and DirectX 11 games. More recently, we introduced Radeon Boost, a unique feature in the Radeon software that's a step beyond anti-lag. For select games, Radeon Boost offers dynamic resolution in response to your mouse or controller inputs, leading to higher frame rates and, as a result, quicker responses to your input. Both Radeon Anti-Lag and Radeon Boost can be enabled via the Radeon software that comes with your graphics cards, and neither of them require a proprietary API or game integration to provide latency-reducing benefits. The effects of these technologies are substantial. Here we see what Radeon Anti-Lag can do to the experience of your games, delivering up to 32% faster response times. With Anti-Lag, your overall gaming experience feels faster, smoother, and much more responsive. And additionally, with Radeon Boost, we see dramatically higher frame rates resulting in more fluid and responsive gaming across many popular games, including some newly supported and highly competitive titles like Fortnite, where every frame counts. Radeon Boost can also deliver an even more dramatic reduction in input lag thanks to the higher frame rates it provides. Next, let me tell you about how we're optimizing the design of our platform. One of the things system designers understand, and certainly many of you who have ever built your own system know all too well, is that it can be challenging to build a cohesive, high-performance desktop PC where all the components work perfectly in concert with one another, where everything just fits right, where you have enough power for all your components, and where you can be sure that everything is being cooled properly and configured to perform at its full potential. Too often today, the makers of individual components are designing only around their own individual needs, and they aren't considering the impact their products have on the overall system, including DIYers and system builders trying to integrate them into their own builds. With CPUs, graphics cards, and chipsets all within AMD, we had the opportunity to really think about how we can optimize each for the system's overall design. Not only to deliver superior performance, but to also provide for an easier integration and upgrading by everyone. So let's start by talking about size and power consumption. In designing the Radeon RX 6800 XT and 6900 XT, we approached the card's design thoughtfully and with you and your PC build in mind. That means that our cards are sized to the standard 10.5-inch board length that the industry has been using for years now. We did this intentionally to ensure that they would easily fit into a variety of cases already in your homes and on the market. After all, most of us just want to upgrade our graphics cards. We don't want to have to buy an entirely new case to fit it in. Additionally, the Radeon RX 6000 series occupies a max 2.5 slot width to fit in smaller form factors, and they even fit in a variety of external GPU enclosures out there in the market. And thanks to the incredible performance per watt efficiency of the RDNA 2 architecture, it enables us to deliver all this performance in a power profile that's best in class. But our consideration goes beyond the design of just the graphics cards themselves. We designed the entire platform thoughtfully to provide the best experience for gamers, DIYers, and system builders alike. Our next generation Ryzen processors and Radeon graphics cards are designed to all play better together. The Radeon RX 6000 series has a triple axial design for cool and quiet operation, and it features a 0 RPM mode when the fans aren't needed. While gaming, the cards run at a quiet and comfortable 37 decibels. As I explained earlier, you can see here that the graphics cards are sized to the standard 10.5-inch board length we've been accustomed to for years now, and to prevent interference with the rest of your build. We purposefully put the power connectors at the end of the card and facing the case's side panel to provide for simple connector accessibility and cable management. Also, there's no need to worry about special adapters to connect to the power supply, especially ones that are placed in any odd locations that can interfere with the aesthetic of your build. The thermal design has also been perfected to enable airflow through the case efficiently and with minimal impact to other components in your system, therefore enabling you to reuse all your other existing thermal management solutions. And we make upgrading to our platform easy. The Ryzen 5000 series processors simply drop into our AM4 socket 500 series chipset motherboards, and the Radeon RX 6800 graphics card is compatible with standard 650 watt power supplies. Our new Ryzen 5000 series processors have also been designed to fit within existing thermal envelopes to make use of your existing fans, heat sinks, and water blocks. You can just swap them in and see immediate benefit without any major rebuilds being required. No matter what size system you want to build, standard ATX, micro ATX, or even external GPU enclosures, we've made upgrading easy for you. As you can see, we've spent a lot of time optimizing the design of the entire AMD platform. We didn't design these new CPUs and GPUs in a vacuum, but rather we designed them by putting gamers first in every decision that we made. We looked at the entire solution, and we've delivered an uncompromising platform that provides not just incredible performance in games, but better thermals, acoustics, cable management, energy efficiency, and reusability overall. None of these decisions were easy to execute, but all of them were made in the best interest of our DIYers and system builders alike. We've also been working with various partners like EKWB on holistic water cooling designs to help level up and customize your AMD builds even further. And I'm proud to say that we have a long list of system builders around the world that'll be offering our new Ryzen 5000 series CPU and Radeon RX 6000 series GPU-based platform and solutions in the coming months. So there you have it. The AMD advantage has empowered us to raise the bar like no other company before us ever has. We not only developed the best CPUs and GPUs for gamers, but we designed them to perform even better when they're paired together. We're We're also bringing you software features that further improve your gaming experience, such as Radeon Boost and anti-lag. And as you just heard, we put an enormous amount of thoughtfulness, care, and consideration for how you could easily upgrade to what is now, without a doubt, the ultimate gaming platform. To celebrate the launch of our new products, we've got something really cool to announce today. Fortnite is played by 350 million people around the world. I love playing this game with my kids, as we bond in it in competition, much like I did with my father over traditional sports when I was growing up. We wanted to create a new medium for you to be able to experience our new components, especially in this virtual world we're all living in. So we worked with the very talented team at Mac & Makes to create these 4 different Fortnite maps for you to play in. We're also giving away a bunch of cool new prizes if you engage with us in Fortnite. Check out amd.com/Fortnite to take part. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope to see you online soon and share a Battle Royale win together.
Hi guys, what's up? We are back again for another unboxing session with me, your boy, Glock Computer. Hell yeah! Now, we have a very special box here from our friends from AMD. It's not really heavy. Right here, what could it be? Guys, comment down below, like right now, guess what's in this box. Okay guys, now I don't want to let you guys wait any further, so let's unbox this. NANI?! Oh. Hoy! Ginagawa mo dyan? Yeah, about that. This is my show. I'm the guest here. Sure. Okay. Gloco computer na to. Baduy-buduy ng pangalan. Ba yan? Hype na hype pa. Sorry about that, guys. Let's restart. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Glocka and today we'll be taking a look at the latest Ryzen processors from AMD. Now, AMD headquarters recently teased us with the newest 5th gen Ryzen processors. And by the time you guys are watching this, I'm pretty sure that those processors are now in the shelves of your suking tindahan. But wait, wag muna kayo aalis para bumili because we have more in store for you guys. Now, AMD has been generous enough to lend us their top-of-the-line processor, which is in this box. Now, don't worry guys, alright? You won't get this same box when you buy yours. AMD is just being very extra right now, but here we go. What's inside the box is the Ryzen 9 5950X. Now, this small but powerful chip has 16 cores and 32 threads. Wait, 16 cores? 16 cores, 32 threads. Wow. Yo, that's like double the usual. Top of the line. This chipset is running on the new Zen 3 architecture and on 7nm process. So tiny. So it's not only perfect for gamers like you, but it's also perfect for content creators like me who's into heavy rendering stuff. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna put this down for a while. There you go. Safe and sound for now. So if you're into multitasking, like playing games while streaming, or playing games while streaming and recording, or maybe doing all of those while studying, while cooking, while fishing, well, maybe you need a new processor for your brain for that. Now, I'm not gonna dive into the technicalities of this product, but I'm pretty sure you guys are now excited to see just how this little beast performs. So let's test it out, shall we? Now that we've installed the new Ryzen 9 5950X, we will now try it out on a few games on Cinebench and on Passmark. Let's go. Particles are smooth. Frame rates are constantly high. Man, looks good. Looks really good. Motion blur is A-okay. Yeah, the game is crispy smooth, guys. Even running, we don't really see any frame drops. It's all good. Alright, we're now here in the woods. Lots of vegetation. Lots of other resources. Now for combat, we're doing fine. Even in combat, the game looks pretty good. Nice. You can see the reflections, everything's registering. No delays, no lag whatsoever. Pretty good. Very responsive. Now when it comes to render distance, I don't really notice any significant pop-ups from vegetation or trees in the distance. There are a couple, but it registers really fast, like quickly, and it's really far. So it's like I think I could estimate from the game around more than 1,000 meters render distance. Pretty impressive. So now I'm gonna give you guys a rundown of the specs that we used for this benchmark. So starting off with the processor, of course, the Ryzen 9 5950X, and it's connected to an Asus Crosshair 8 Hero motherboard with an Asus ROG Strix Radeon RX 5700 XT video card, and also running on a T4 16GB RAM, a 256GB T4 SATA SSD, and an Inwin 850W Bronze Plus power supply. Okay, here we go. As you guys can see, it's rendering everything, or a lot of it, really fast. Look at those. That's a lot of boxes being rendered. Oh, cool. There you go. It's done. And we got 10,091 points. Guys, that's pretty impressive. Really impressive. It actually scores higher than its predecessor, the Threadripper 1950X, which is also, by the way, a 16-core processor. Nice. Wow. Surpasses it by a lot of points. Impressive. To put it simply, this test is to prove just how powerful the Ryzen 9 5950X is. So next up, we're gonna try it out using only a single core. So here we go. So it's rendering everything one by one, contrary to like the previous one that pretty much rendered a lot of cells. This is going one by one. Okay, it's gonna take a bit of time, guys. Compared to the 16 cores, this is just one core. Still pretty impressive though. And we're done with the single core testing, and as you guys can see, it got 638 points, which is on the top. So that's pretty impressive. Like even on a single core, it still pretty much beat every predecessor and even the competition. So that's pretty good. Not surprised. So if you want the best of the best, then this is the way to go. Now on to the next product. Glow computer. Oh, kunin mo to. Ito, dalhin mo. Tapos, kay in. Saan? Doon. Okay. Yan. There you go. In. na old guest.
Hi everyone! And today is the launch of their newest Ryzen processors and it's already on my left side. I am really excited. Are you guys excited? Kaya tara! Ayan, unboxin natin!
Hey guys, my name is Ian Mercado and here with me are the newest 5th generation Ryzen processors. So, let's check them out. Now here we have the Ryzen 9 5900X, which has 12 cores and 24 threads. This chipset is running on the new Zen 3 architecture and on 7nm process. Being the second most powerful in the lineup, Ryzen 9 5950X and Ryzen 9 5900X are both excellent alternatives that bring workstation-class performance to the mainstream platform. These new processors are exactly what gamers, streamers, and content creators need for optimal performance. So if you need more speed for things like video editing, or you just want a fast, capable system with extra overhead for future computing tasks, you might want to check out the Ryzen 9 5900X. Without a doubt, this processor is a better value for money. They manage to be a great value when it comes to price to performance ratio, which in the long run will definitely make your investment worthwhile. So what are we waiting for? Let's test it out! I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and as you guys know, this is a AAA game. My settings right now is 1080p, and as you guys can see, the graphics is super smooth and crisp. So the Ryzen 9 5900X is handling the rendering pretty well. So now let's test the Ryzen 9 5900X with its multi-core performance with Cinebench. Okay, let's run this. And as you can see, it renders the image faster than most of the processors in the market. And if you're an animator, if you render videos every day, video editor, and if you're an architect in making, this Ryzen 9 5900X is the best choice for you. Other than it's affordable, it's powerful. And just like that, it's finished. So as you can see, other than the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X outperforms the competition in the market, it also outperforms its predecessors like Ryzen Threadripper 1950X and Ryzen 7 1700X. So this time, let's test the Ryzen 9 5900X on single core performance. And now we have finished the single core performance testing. And the Ryzen 9 5900X just received a 613 points, which outperformed the AMD Ryzen Threadripper 1950X with 16 cores. So if you're looking for the best processor your money can buy in the mainstream market right now, well, this is it. The Ryzen 9 5900X, which has 12 cores and 16 threads. Now, for the next processor, if you plan to do more than gaming or just want to future-proof your system with 8 powerful cores instead of 6, then the Ryzen 7 5800X is your best bet. This processor has 8 cores and 16 threads. The new Ryzen 7 5800X is for some serious productivity. It can handle workloads such as animation as well as 2D and 3D works without a sweat. This is arguably the best all-rounder processor if you want to work and play. Let's test it out by playing some games and test bench this using Cinebench. And now we've installed the Ryzen 7 5800X and I'm playing Fortnite right now, so let's test it out. I'm playing Fortnite on ultra settings on 2K resolution. This is perfect for consumers like me who play and stream at the same time. This processor will be able to handle all your needs. So now we will be testing the Ryzen 7 5800X on Cinebench. Let's see what it can do. You can really tell that this is a good and stable processor for all-around workload and gaming. So now we have finished the multi-core performance test, and the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X garnered 5,882 points. So that's good, right? So now let's test the single core performance. And now the single core testing is finished. And the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X garnered 625 points. As I've said earlier, if you plan to do more than gaming or future-proof your system with 8 powerful cores, the Ryzen 7 5800X is for you. And now, let's get back to Gloco as he will be testing out the last processor in this series, the Ryzen 5 5600X, which has 6 cores and 12 threads.
Now we're gonna test out the Ryzen 5 5600X on Valorant. Here we go. You guys can see I got the top 1 on the deathmatch and everything performed so smoothly. Too smoothly if you ask me. Like totally different from how I usually experience Valorant. Like every click, every hit, every bullet just feels so satisfying, and it feels like it's actually, you know, hitting in real time. No lags whatsoever. So if you ask me, I think it did kind of boost up my performance there when it comes to shooting. So there you go, it's pretty good. Now let's also test out the Ryzen 5 5600X with Cinebench. Here we go. Alright, here's the results, guys. It scored 4,159 points. And as you guys can see, it scored higher than the Ryzen 7 1700X 8-core processor. Now take note, this one, it only has 6 cores and 12 threads. So pretty impressive for this new generation processor. Good job. Now let's try out the single core of this processor. Here we go. And we are done with the single core testing, and it scored a whopping 595 points. It's currently on the first in the ranking, and it did better than its predecessors. As you guys can see here, it performed better than the Ryzen 5 3600 XT, which is also a 6-core 12-thread processor, and surprisingly, it even did better than the Threadripper 1950X, which is a 16-core 32-thread processor. Wow, impressive. Now there you have it, guys. That's the latest 5th gen processors from AMD. You have the Ryzen 5 5600X, the Ryzen 7 5800X, the Ryzen 9 5900X, and the top of the line Ryzen 9 5950X. My name is Glauco, and we would like to thank AMD for giving us this opportunity to be one of the first to try out these processors here in the country. Now I know you can't wait to get your hands on these new Ryzen processors, but don't fret, because AMD and its partner brands have prepared a lineup of motherboards just for these processors. Now, watch this.
Hi, I'm Keith Lee, CEO of Counterplay Games, the studio bringing you Godfall this holiday season. Today I'd like to show you the latest from Godfall and some of the incredible new technologies we've been developing closely together with AMD. First, I'm going to show you our never seen before brand new environment in Godfall known as the Air Realm. And let's see what next generation gaming looks like on the latest AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards. Godfall is based on the latest Unreal Engine 4 running on DirectX 12 Ultimate API. Specifically, we've been working closely with AMD to introduce new features such as DXR 1.1 ray tracing and variable rate shading. We've also worked on AMD's Fidelity Effects, Contrast Adaptive Sharpening, and Fidelity Effects Luminance Preserving Mapper. At 4K resolution using Ultra HD textures, Godfall requires tremendous memory bandwidth to run smoothly. In this intricately detailed scene, we're using 4K by 4K texture sizes and 12 gigabytes of graphics memory to play at 4K resolutions. The Infinity Cache on AMD's Radeon RX 6000 series cards runs Godfall with high frame rates with maximum settings enabled. As gamers, we know how much performance matters to us, especially when there's lots of enemies and visual effects on screens at the same time. Yet, none of us want to sacrifice image quality to get there. What you see here is us maxing out the image quality settings to deliver extraordinary visuals while still delivering very high sustained frame rates. We achieved this through variable rate shading, also known as VRS. We've also overhauled our lighting and shadow systems, leveraging DXR 1.1 ray tracing to realistically model shadows in the scene more closely to what happens in the real world. Here, you see the impact of ray tracing in the detailed shadows cast by the characters and foliage in the distance. This is a level of real-time detail and realism that hasn't been possible until now. Previously, we would have had to pre-process and bake the lights into a given scene, making it static and non-dynamic. Of course, ray tracing shadows involves incredibly complex computations, and the Radeon RX 6000 series GPUs are able to handle it with ease. Moreover, we've enabled Fidelity Effects Contrast Adaptive Sharpening, also known as CAS, to sharpen and improve the overall textures and edges of our scenes. As you scan and study the environment, notice the increased sharpness and the level of detail in the textures rather than the typical muddier, blurrier effects with CAS disabled. Amazingly, the performance impact of CAS is negligible, allowing you to enjoy contrast adaptive sharpening on a wide range of hardware. We hope you've enjoyed this preview. We've worked very closely with AMD to bring you some of the greatest new graphics features on the Radeon RX 6000 series. We're so excited to bring Godfall to you this holiday season.